A few moments later.
Not bad if I was hiking.
Hey folks, thanks for dropping in on me on another exciting camping trip. And I gotta tell you, this one's my favorite. This is just a quick overnighter up on the Manistee Loop. The Manistee Loop is actually a 20-mile loop. You go 10 miles downriver and then 10 miles back upriver. If you're on mountain bike, you can only go on the west side of the river, which is where I'm currently blasting down. I'm carrying 24 pounds of camp gear on my back. That includes my water, my tent, and anything you could possibly need to live out here for 24 hours. Currently, I'm going downriver, southwest on the Manistee Loop, about 10 miles out. I'm going to try to find a camp spot, set up a bivouac for the night, and then get up early the next morning and drive 5 hours back home, shower, shave, and go to work. But first I gotta figure out where I am. I always get lost at this point. Gosh darn it.
Holy smokes. Oh my god.
Yeah, and I'm gonna ride on like that didn't just happen. I almost lost my front wheel because the spoke was so loose. When you're out here all by yourself, out in the wilderness, you gotta keep a constant check on your gear to make sure it's safe and functional. Now at this time, I would like to have a conversation with you, the viewer, about these creatures that live in the wilderness called diurnal animals. Diurnal animals like to come out just before sunset and right after sunrise. And right now, I'm quickly approaching one of those times of day. What would be a diurnal animal, you might say? Well, for example, black bears are diurnal animals, and I've seen lots of tracks of these every time I go camping. Another diurnal animal, not so scary, but equally dangerous, would be hitting a deer as I go down one of these hills at 27 miles an hour with an extra 25 pounds of weight on my back. Needless to say, I'm not really at my agile best at that point in time. Either way, I need to start looking for camp soon and keep my head on a swivel. Okay, don't think about the bears, don't think about the bears, don't think about the bears. But every time I see a dark black stump ahead of me, I just start thinking about bears. Now, if you have a keen eye for detail, you may have noticed by now that there's a lot of footage of me rolling downhill. I did that on purpose. I want to try to give you, the viewer, an idea just how long one of these drops are. If you think this is long, be glad I spared you the details of not doing the ups. Now, wait a minute. What's this black spot? It's a stump, not a bear. Okay. I think I finally see a campsite. I'm gonna go see what it's into. This'll do. This is perfect. All right. Let's get a electrolyte drink and cool off. Set up camp.
All right, so here I am. I think I found the perfect camp spot. Gosh, it's hot. I gotta let this nasty wet shirt dry out while I go inspect my gear. You know what? I don't think I brought enough water. This could be a problem, folks, because I still have to cook dinner, hydrate myself, and get back to the car. And I haven't mentioned the humidity. Oh, the wet bulb factor. It is really humid right now. Just a quick spot to hang up my shirt and also get my water bag hung. So that way I could say I have about 1.5 liters left for tonight and to get back to the car tomorrow. I'll go ahead and finish setting up camp. Now I just want to get some fluids in there. Always put an extra lighter. Okay, folks, I won't lie. I'm not doing so well right now. I am really dehydrated, That bike ride was a bit more than I was anticipating, and right now I gotta get hydrated. So I'm using some electrolyte mix. I'm trying to use my water as sparingly as possible.
Yeah, fatigue is setting in now. If I can make it back to the car and then drive and get to work tomorrow. So worried about that. I don't really have any way to mix it right now. Oh my god, that tastes so good. Oh yeah. Feeling better already.
The one con about this particular bivvy, it is not what you consider a freestanding tent, which means if you do not stake the corners into the ground just right, it's not going to last through the night. Now, you got to find just the right spot, which I have, and that spot has to have just the right soil that you can pierce with a tent stake. And right now, I didn't bring a hammer or hatchet. I'm using my super lightweight trowel, in case I need to defecate in the woods. Trowel is what I would use to dig a cat hole. I haven't done that yet on this trip. It's a clean trowel, so it's hygienically sound to go ahead and use, dig in as a tool for the tin stakes. There you go. Last one in. And that's how the tent stays standing, because there's tension between each of the tent stakes used with the poopy trowel. Yes, I know. Anyways, hey, you gotta make do with what you got.
I gotta get some calories in me quick, so I'm gonna go ahead and start up dinner and let this just heat up while I finish the rest of the hooch tonight. But I thought tonight it would be real yummy beef bolognese at Backpacker's Pantry. I'll rate this when I'm done eating it. I'll let you know what it tastes like. For now, I need to save 360 milliliters for boiling water.
Okay, so this is where the dad part of me kicks in. See this? Right there? That's how much I gotta fill up with water just for dinner tonight. You know, kids, water doesn't grow on trees. Pretty worried about it right now. Ugh, I am so thirsty at this point. All discipline out the window, I had to suck it down. Okay, I hope you didn't see that, did you?
That leaves me with about a half liter left. Old whisper light.
Before you screw your whisper light onto your gas canister, make sure that it's turned off. I've screwed it on there a couple of times with it turned off. It becomes a hot mess real fast.
There's the magic part.
Okay, time to grab the best tool, the utility knife. Basically, it just opens up your meals, but it does a splendid job at that. Sometimes you use the other utensils for other things, but if you're lucky, that never comes about. Look at this clean slice. Gourmet. Alright, so when the water comes to a full boil, add the contents of the hot water into that bag. And I'm going to let it mix it up. Not quite there yet.
So that is boiling hot, and I'm gonna wait a while. I'm gonna go finish putting my tent together, or my bivvy for the night. And I gotta really wait for that to cool down. A coffin than a tent, but you know, it keeps the bugs away. Pros and cons about this tent. It's the lightest tent I have. It's unbelievably light. It was lighter than any of my hammock tents. I have a tent that's just a net, but by the time you bring the tarp, this was still lighter, and it comes with its own fly, so I didn't need to bring a tarp. So, I've only used this tent once. I don't know why. It's not a tent, it's a bivvy. It's, tent-like, but anyways, I like it so far. I could stretch out more so, and I could sleep on my stomach, unlike a hammock. This is good. Alright, so, brought some amenities here. First one I think is important is a pillow. Yeah, but an inflatable pillow. Not one where you have to stuff. So it's got a little button that if you compress, you can put the air in and the air doesn't come out. I didn't figure that out till like my second camp trip with it. That makes it pretty nifty. I think we're there. Oh yeah. All right. Now, here's the other thing. We all got air mattresses. Nobody really wants to blow on an air mattress. So, I have a gizmo that does a couple of features for me. I don't know if I can do this while I'm in here though. This bivvy was made for somebody long. No, I ain't gonna do that. Here we go. Okay, so take that piece, put it right.
Oh man. Well, folks, it turns out that this thing has more pieces to it than a Star Wars Lego set on Christmas morning. Look, I edited a lot out. I really am sparing you folks, but to be honest with you, it took me a minute to figure it out.
We're off to the races. Oops. Yep. Now I have it here. It's also my nightlight. I'm gonna hang it right there tonight. Isn't that neat? I like it. Gigapump. I like it. Ooh, really bright. Gigapump bright. Alright, let's go see how dinner's doing.
Okay, but before I eat, remember that story I told you about the bears? Yeah, well, even though it's like 88 degrees here, I'm still gonna start a fire tonight just to keep the bears away. Also, I can incinerate any of my food products that, like crumbs or, bags with residual oils. I don't want that laying around the campsite because that will attract critters.
I like to organize my firewood so, longer burning wood. I already had to get the fire started. I forgot to get that filming going, but there we go. We got the fire going. And I think I'm about to eat dinner here real soon.
Yeah, so I'm gonna get a quick little blaze set up here and sit on this log and enjoy my meal. I can hear a lot of animals out there. And the fire looks like it's gonna keep my bears away. See that smoke? They're gonna be smelling that. They're not gonna be smelling my yummy food. And that's the whole idea. A fire doesn't necessarily need to just provide you heat. It always provides you with a sense of security. Now, I've been camping in -7 degrees, and that security from a fire really seems to be significant in the middle of the night. But also in the middle of the summer, that fire can provide security as well. See, I'm eating out of a bag, and that food in that bag is probably, the smell of it's probably traveling down the trail quite a ways. The heat of that fire and the smoke from that fire is also traveling as well. And that's telling anybody that might be curious, like a bear, that this food is not available for them. It's my first deterrent. Now, stick around because I got a couple of other measures I take to keep myself protected on the trail. And another step I take, which is very important, is to set up a game camera on my campsite. You see, everybody knows that Sasquatch is not going to attack you if you're filming your campsite. Statistically speaking, anyways. However, this particular game camera is not top-notch. It's got a slow delay and a bright flash, which tends to scare critters off. So if I do get a shot of them, great, but more than likely, its IR strobe is going to scare them away, and getting a shot of them running is just bonus.
Alright folks, well, it's 8:40. Sun's gonna set here in about another 30 or 40 minutes. As I like to do, I like to get into bed before it gets dark. I just get all secure and relaxed. And really, that's the best sleep I get, is that just before dark until midnight. It's where I'm gonna sleep the best, the sound, I'm gonna feel the safest. I'll probably get up at midnight and freak out for a while and then go back to sleep. But really and truly, it's like 9 to midnight will be the best time. So I'm going to go ahead and turn in, let this fire die down a little bit more, and kick some dirt on it, put it out. But the goal is to get up super early at 6 a.m. and get on the trail. Alright, well, see you in the morning. Okay, so the last time I went camping in Manistee, I had to wrestle a raccoon in the middle of the night. This was a rather large raccoon, and at first I thought it was a bear because it was so big, and I am out here alone again, and these things can happen. But I left all my supplies, like my flashlight and my bear spray, were in the backpack outside because I went to bed so early while it was still daylight. I didn't bring these things in the tent. This time I came prepared. This time I brought an air horn because me cussing at things doesn't seem to scare them off, and I have my flashlight. This bad boy, as little as it is over 1,000 looms. So this one is by Streamlight, Microstream, Gigabyte, Giga Air Horn. No, this is just air horn. But I'm hoping this is all I would need just to scare things off tonight. If I do, hopefully I don't. I also didn't make the mistake of bringing any extra food. All my crap, I'll be honest, I burnt it in the fire because I wanted to make sure there was nothing that smelled like food around here. And I made a fire just to get things away from me. I didn't do that last time, so we'll see how it goes. I'm not expecting anything tonight, and I'm not making any stupid mistakes like I did last time, leaving a nasty, trash around and camping in trash. I'm not doing that. I found a lot of trash at the last site. It should have been tell that people had to leave in the middle of the night because of some animals. This is a good site. The site has good medicine. I feel pretty good about it. So, like I said, air horn, yeah, and flashlight, yeah.
the last of the water. It doesn't need to be boiling like last night, I just need to get it warm. I'm not really what you would call a coffee snob, but I'm gonna say I reserve instant coffee only when I go camping. Now, that doesn't mean I still don't make a ritual out of it. I enjoy the brew. There's something about the sun rising in the background and making this caffeinated beverage that's gonna get me back to the car. It's a very special moment. Now, with that said, I'm gonna go ahead and stir this pot up and then let it sit. When I come back, I'm gonna enjoy and meditate on the morning before I get back to the car and drive and go to work. Got my coffee. Got my health bar. This is what we call breakfast of champions. Not enough water to make breakfast or hydrate on the way back. Really, there's not enough juice in my phone to even navigate, let alone be filming my breakfast of champions here, but this was a good quickie overnight. I've been wanting to do this. This worked out just right. I really enjoyed it. See you on the next one. Well, folks, this wraps up one of my favorite camp trips over the summer. I will say, however, I didn't get the best part on film. On the way back to the car, it was a 3-mile drop down to the river base, in which I rode a flat road all the way back to the car for the most part. But somewhere in all that mix, I ran across several creatures. For one, I ran across that bear. Didn't get that on film. I ran across deer, porcupine, and sandhill crane. This was one of my favorite trips of the summer. I hope you join me on the next one. Happy trails.